we are live here in umbraCoffee episode 64. It's a great round number for all of us here, right? 64 is a perfect number. And we are joined by Emma, one of the Emmas. And Emma, you have a great mug.
I do, on brand. I don't drink all my coffee. Callum and Marcin. I don't always drink.
And you know, we did the lessons today, and I've checked. You've been attending the umbraCoffee number 17.
Wow.
So it was a while ago.
It was March 23rd last year.
Oh, yeah. You remember the exact date. So yeah, it was episode 17. So I love.
And she joined us for our birthday. You were there on our birthday, Emma.
Oh yeah, I would have been. Yeah, but I was one of many. I was somewhere in the background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we will be definitely scanning through the umbraCo news from this week. How was your week then in work, in anything else related? Callum, how's your stay in Australia?
Yeah. Did people see my tweet about the spider? That was fun.
Yeah.
When my true Australian experience, saw a drive-through bottle shop.
Yeah.
I walked through a massive spider's web, and this huge thing stuck to me. And I've not really touched much umbraco, to be honest.
Man, this Alco drive looked amazing. I think it's something what definitely should be introduced in Poland. Alco drive 24-hour open. And Emma, how was your week? umbraco, not only umbraco related. Good?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great umbraco related week. It's been busy. The meetup was last night, which was super fun. We all got together to build a package with Lee as well. So it's been a really nice week, an umbraco-y week. And PR team stuff keeps ticking over. So lots of that too.
Yeah, we will be touching those topics for sure during the episode. But let's start from probably the biggest announcement and the biggest news this week. umbraco was awarded, and right now we can talk about award-winning umbraco because from if I remember correctly, 36,000 companies, umbraco was picked as a future unicorn. Which we've mentioned the last week that it's a perfect award tailored for umbraco purposes. So yeah, yesterday there was a ceremony in Brussels, and I'm sharing my screen. No, I'm not sharing my screen. Am I sharing my screen now? No. Hangout seems to be broken and something. Oh yeah, I can share my screen now. So yeah, we had some updates from Brussels straight from the umbraco HQ. Niels was tweeting about some other attendees and how the whole event was organized, and it was great to see umbraco being awarded. Right, it's well deserved award, and especially looking on the future of umbraco now from the perspective of people who are inside of the project somehow, right? Yeah, so that's great. Congrats, umbraco, and yeah, I believe that it will give a lot of exposure for the project, and a lot of new people will hear about umbraco, I believe, because always some people are underestimating awards like that. But I was speaking with my friends here in Poland who won some less prestige awards, and thanks to those awards they were invited to some other projects, contests and things like that. So it can be an entry point to a lot of amazing opportunities.
And it can be more appropriate. Future unicorn.
Yeah, they're already a unicorn.
I was going to say they've been doing that for ages.
Yeah, that would be a blame if they wouldn't won, right? And this week also we've seen that there was a first meeting of umbraco community package team, and Emma, you've mentioned you are a part of the PR team in umbraco, and you've been doing an amazing job with helping community to have more pull requests prepared, merged, answered, handled overall. And did you hear and did you think about joining maybe other teams such as a package team?
Well, so far we've got the documentation curators, we've got the PR team, and obviously we were all over in Denmark together in Odense. So no, we haven't had any cross communication just yet, but I know that, you know, we all fly under the umbrella name. We haven't thought of a better one than Team umbraCo. So we're Team umbraCo. So it's lovely to know that there's more to come, that the team is expanding.
Yeah, we didn't hear, at least I didn't hear a lot about this team, but I've just seen that Warren was probably leading the meeting, and he shared the picture from it on his Instagram. And yeah, it's great to look forward to what will it bring for the umbraCo and package developers. And I know that tomorrow on the virtual meetup there will be also a lot of talks about package development for V8 and more. So that's great to see. And then yeah, we are all curious what it will bring for the umbraCo community, and if it will help us same as the other teams helped for previous purposes, and I believe that it will.
Yes.
I think it really is down to the success of the... Sorry?
We've got async issues again. Sorry.
Go ahead, Callum.
I was just going to say, I'd love to know who's on the team. Maybe Warren and whoever else can give some insight, because I don't think it's been really spoken about or shared publicly who's actually getting involved with these little package hackathons or anything they're doing. So yeah, just be nice to know.
There's already some good documentation on porting packages over as well. I know Warren wrote a piece porting packages to V8, which is already in the docs, and I'm looking at it now, but you are not, because I can't share my screen. So there's already lots of info up there, which is great, because quite often when you're still building these things, it's hard to have the documentation in place right away. So it's great that they're leading with their best foot and writing it up. So well done to Warren for that.
As we've said over the past few weeks, Warren and Stefan and a few others at HQ are being really reactive when it comes to these questions. Matt's had a couple of questions on Twitter about databases and migrations and how you create tables on startup, best practices, etc. And Stefan's been around to advise on that as well. So yeah, there's kind of an all hands on deck effort, it seems, from HQ to make sure that we've got as much resource as possible, as much knowledge as possible to make sure packages are V8 ready.
That's great, and I'm really following all of those threads on Twitter started by Matt Brailsford, and learning a lot from there, because some challenges there were not so visible before thinking about V8 and also thinking about other implementations. But now if the gates are open and everything is possible, when we are looking on the future of the future unicorn, that's the great to see that those discussions are happening, and umbraCo is also participating actively inside of them and being open for any other ideas from the community. So yeah, let's jump to another topic. Emma, you've mentioned the umbraCo London meetup. I have some picture. Once again, I have some pictures opened on your Twitter account from yesterday meetup, and we've seen that there were a couple of great talks and some news gathered, and I've also seen the Australian version of Callum here on those slides. There were talks about V8, if I'm correct, right? And also some introduction to umbraCo Spark, and the project by Handy Rachel. Luke. So how was it? It
was fantastic. It was it's probably the first one I've made it to in a while. We've got so the London meetup is structured so that you have socials, and then every quarter you'll have a big talks meetup. And this one, I was writing down actually what we had. We had 5 talks. It still surprises me that it's possible to go out, learn something, spend 3 hours. You don't pay a penny. You get so looked after. Draw did a wonderful job of hosting as well. They ordered pizza from Forezza, which I couldn't speak more highly of. Other pizza providers are available, just in case you have any sponsorship issues.
They can sponsor.
Yeah, Forezza should sponsor us under pizza. Sounds great. So Draw did a wonderful job, wonderful space. Lottie gave us a tour of V8 and she showed us some of the really cool features. She was dog fooding, which is one of my favorite tech phrases. So she built the slides into umbraCo so that she could use V8 to even build her presentation. Nothing fell over. I think it's really, really the last week, because obviously I work a lot with V8 with the testing pull requests and things. The last week it's become so solid. It's wonderful. Like, everything seems to be coming together super quickly. So that's lovely. Lots of nice little features. Control space brings up a global search that really works, and it even searches for media items. We lost the dictionary section, but found it again. It's just not enabled by default, but there are We played with language variants. That was wonderful. We had a talk by Dean Faulkner, who's at Draw, not Draw Design, because they are they're also developers there, called Rolling the Tortoise, which was the best bit of management speak he'd heard in a meeting, which is about trying to make something do something it doesn't want to. And then some discussion around the structuring of nodes for as content. So this site was built pre-nested content, but also, of course, with nested content, you can't always reuse the content. And if you have child nodes that are modules, you can. And he looked at how he overcame some of the performance problems associated with that. So that was really interesting. Steve Temple spoke about Spark, which sounds utterly wonderful. So this festival focuses on innovation. So of course we got lots of wonderful festivals on the umbraCo calendar, but this one's forward looking. So we're only looking at brand new things. He said something along the lines of, we're not looking at showing off work that we've done, it's work that we're doing, it's things that we're still engaging in, throwing ideas around and walking away with lots of ideas that we can then work on. So Death by Spreadsheets, Andy Hawken gave his first talk at a meetup. And Andy, if you go to the London meetup, you'll know him because he goes to every meetup. He's very, very good at getting to them, but he's never spoken before. You never would have known it. He showed us, he really was rolling the tortoise too. He showed us how to build an umbraCo instance that he's given clients access only to the document type section as a data management and repository tool. And it was,
nice.
The title of the talk, Death by Spreadsheets, did it a massive disservice because he actually showed how you can build something that reliably lets people work with spreadsheets. And all of those talks were great. And then at the very end, Laurie and Hendy sat down. Laurie is co-host. He wanted to be clear that he didn't build the package, but it was like a kind of Parkinson vibe they were giving off. The two of them had great chemistry. They sat down and they spoke about Hendy's latest package, which is, it's called Look. I don't know if you can show it on your screen or anything, but the GitHub repository.
We've spoken about it many times. We'll put a link in the description too.
Wonderful, do, because it's the best thing about Hendy packages is a lot of work has gone into them, but they've gone in to make things simpler for us. Like, he doesn't build anything unless it makes our lives easier. He's all about simplicity. So I'm always excited when I see that Hendy's done something, and this is no exception. You need to check out Look.
We will, of course, link this package as well during today's episode, because we've mentioned it a couple times, and still I didn't find time yet to play more with it, but it looks really great. And those talks which you've mentioned, they are all deserve to be shared further and further. And I'm really looking forward to see them on some other future events. And we also had the Glasgow meetup this week, and speaking about sharing V8 and more stuff like that, we also seen that there were a talk by Tom Madden there about the new V8 site and what he learned during the process of creating it, and another talk about performance. And I see that there's a lot of talks about performance and umbraCo V8 and how it's changed. And maybe as an addition here, we can share what Shannon tweeted yesterday or today. His benchmarks showed that the V8 is at least double faster than V7 on the same site without any optimization. So there is a lot of performance work going on, and that's great to see that it's all being built, and as you've said, it's going to be stable, and stabilization process is occurring. So it's good to see that it's coming. It's coming. It's really coming here. And when we are talking about meetups, something what we've seen just before going live here today, Ilham shared this. Yeah, breaking news, new announcement. We've seen that Ilham shared that repository called the Organizer Guide. It's under Umbraco organization on GitHub, and it's a guide for Umbraco meetups and other event organizers. And damn, it's a lot of knowledge, a lot of information here, a lot of sections, checklist, what should be done, what should be found, and how to start a new event. And that even if it's a small meetup in a small city, or if it's a virtual meetup or anything like that, or big festival or another festival, maybe somewhere down under or up there or somewhere else. Yeah, it's a comprehensive set of knowledge and information straight from Umbraco HQ. And also there's a lot of information how to get help from HQ, and not only great details. And we will of course share the link to this repository under the video description as well. And Callum, you've added to this topic something what I've missed during the preparation for this episode, because it was about Umbraco mentor matching. And we can see this document on Google. And can you tell us more about this discovery during this?
Yeah, so this was something that Barry O'Kane posted in Slack earlier in the week, and it's kind of similar to the idea of UBuddy at Code Garden, where they want to pair people up. But in this case, it's pairing up maybe someone who's newer to the community or less experienced and wants to gain more knowledge with some people that can help. And there's this idea of kind of a short-term match, so 4 to 6 weeks of just talking back and forth, have a little chat, 1 or 2 hours a week. And then there's the other stuff, which is more regular, once a month sessions over the course of maybe a year or longer. And it's a really nice idea. I think there's a sign-up form. Am I right in saying that? Yeah.
Yes, there's a volunteer as a mentor link, and
a mentee. So it's a really nice idea to just help sharing in the community and get everyone improve everyone's skills. And I think it's a really cool idea, actually.
Yeah, and
I need to sign up.
Owen just added to on the live chat that it's not only for devs, for new devs. It's open to all. So I don't know if you've heard about mastermind ideas. People are just gathering together on some small groups and discussing what's happened during the month, and exchanging ideas and things. And I think that it's something similar, but focused around Umbraco and the processes around it. So it's great to see those initiatives coming, and we can just see that one idea such as UBuddy creates another ideas and exploding with more topics and more other things like that, right?
I think with this, the beauty in it is how structured it is. Like, I think often people think that structure takes away flexibility or freedom, but in this case, I saw because actually this Barry's idea was a way back, and he put something in Slack, and I thought, well, this looks interesting, but I'm not sure it's something I could do. And so I kind of commented and walked away. And after he put the structure up, I went back and I looked, and I thought, I could absolutely engage with this. Here and here. I think that what you'll find is when you provide that amount of structure around an idea, people are going to want to engage. So it's a fab idea.
Yeah, you're totally right. I was going to say, Emma, you're totally right about structure, because as people, we're not time rich, and there's so many cool things that we could all be trying to get involved in. We've mentioned quite a few of them today, from the PR team and the docs curators teams that you're involved in, and the new package team. And then there's also this, and then submitting talks to conferences and tons of stuff. So people are all getting involved in lots of different ways, but actually some people may want to get involved in this but feel like I couldn't commit. And that definitely the structure that they've put in place allows for it to be either I want to commit not too much or quite a lot of my time, and it's really, really flexible for the individuals, which is great.
Yeah, So sometimes it's not just a throwing idea, but just making in more details, and people are just finding themselves, finding themselves in fitting in to this specific topic. Cool, that's great. And okay, so maybe let's talk about another topic, which is umbraco Code Garden and some other events ahead of time. And Emma, as we have you here, we all noticed that you are speaking on Code Garden. You were announced as one of the first speakers on the event. We can also see that the speakers are still coming in and being announced every day, almost every day lately. So right now we have already a great looking agenda as always. Basically, we have some. You are here. You will be talking about developing talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great presentation. We've seen some version of it in the past already, but from the new announcements, we can see some guys from McCann Manchester. They will be talking about space for innovation. We also see Tiffany Prosner, who will be talking about accessibility and how we can improve our solutions to be more accessible.
It was Tiffany's first Code Garden last year as well. So to be here on the bill this year is just wonderful.
Yep, that's amazing to see. And I remember how she was happy after submitting a talk idea, and now we can see, that she's picked. That's great to see. Philip will be talking about content as a service together with Matthias, and we can see Dave, the old veteran of Code Gardens, and not only, who will be talking about building great V8 packages, I believe, and we've seen Anka Bundaru from Bitdefender. And it looks like a really interesting talk, not straight umbraco related, but about privacy, security, and everything else related. And as someone from a company such as Bitdefender, I think that there is a lot of knowledge which can be shared, and how we can all learn about those things which we usually or sometimes are missing when we are developing solutions and web applications. So yeah, it's looking great. And we are all looking forward to this great event. And so we know that some speakers will be announced soon as well. And the call for proposals is closed, right? The call for proposals is closed.
Yes, it was yesterday.
Yeah, 2 days ago, 20th. Yeah. So yeah, we will see who else will be announced. And tomorrow we have another event on our umbraco map. And Emma, you are attending, or are you planning to attend?
Not this time, no. I have family this time.
Yeah, I can see that there is a PR team update. So that's why I asked. But I can see that Sebastian will be leading it. So yeah, the agenda for tomorrow's meeting is that there will be some announcements from PR team, V8 package development from multi-award winning MVP Matt Brailsford. Carol will share what to expect at Code Garden. Also multi-award winning MVP Carol. And time management techniques will be discussed. This is something what interests me, to be honest, and I might watch the recording if it will be shared. And approaches to
componentizing.
Damn, it's such a hard word. But umbraco side, and Nick suggested this topic, and anything else. That's the agenda of tomorrow's meeting, and yeah, we will see what it will bring. And we also seen the script release, but it was released totally oriented on umbraco events. That's why we are talking a lot about events lately, because we've mentioned umbraco Spark, which is coming on 22nd March, and umbraco Festival in Deutschland is coming really close in time, and there's a lot of other announcements. There was no package releases this week, which surprised us because no updates, no releases. Maybe some big releases are coming in the next week, but there was a great invention shared by Lee Kelleher, and it was something in the relation to his 10 years from first package development process with robots.txt editor. And Lee invited people to cooperate and offered some kind of mentoring, let's say. So if you want to start developing Umbraco package and you want to help moving this package to V8 and prepare it to be V8 ready, jump to this topic. And did I see you, Emma, here? Yeah, I've seen you.
No, I'm involved, but we have actually now got a team together that's working on it. So we're currently
so it's already
trying to divide the work across the three of us. I think when you see Lee Kelleher is available to help, it's like, yes, definitely.
That was something that I was curious about, because being mentored by people who are such an amazing developers and with such a great history in the package, and not only package development, that's a great journey just to learn from them and see how they work. That's something what was always interesting me.
We're all new to this too as well, so I think perhaps Lottie's created a package, perhaps not, but certainly Mike and myself haven't, so even in V7, so it's going to be quite a learning curve. But what I would suggest is, if this goes well, that many other package developers might want to do something similar, because so far we've hardly bothered Lee except for putting him in a Slack channel. We've got our Trello board together, and between the three of us we should be able to do quite a bit, but having Lee on hand to refer to will be great. So perhaps other package developers will see the value in doing the same. I know they already give up a lot of their time, but it may well be something that works well.
And last thing on my list, at least for this week, is my poll, which I created some time ago. I was really curious about usage of Examine versus other search providers. And Callum, I know that you are very involved in going beyond Examine in various places and various projects. And the results maybe didn't surprise me. But I was really looking to more answers like, no, Examine maybe sucks, maybe it failed too many times for me, and I switched to this and that. But it looks like Examine is still cool, and that's something what I totally agree with, because I think that Examine is still cool if it's used with its purpose and it's not overused, or maybe it's not used when it shouldn't be used, right?
Yeah. The thing that I've said whenever I've spoken about, I've done a few talks on how we can go beyond Examine and maybe look at Elastic or Azure Search and tying those in really neatly into Umbraco. And one of the things I've said in that is, like you say, Examine is still cool. I think it's got a very bright future as well. With the potential that V8 brings, we can upgrade. Well, Examine's been upgraded to a newer Lucene version, and then we've got a little bit more potential and scope to do some actually really powerful things in future, or upgrade it even. So there's definitely still benefits of using Examine, and as you say, Marcin, just using it in the right ways, or knowing when just using Examine for something isn't the right use case. Then there's perhaps it's good that people are still trust it.
Yeah, something what maybe seen as dangerous, that it's 4% of people are still using Descendants or Self to search the content of Umbraco. but yeah, so yeah, it's from 82 votes only. So yeah, that's interesting to see those results. And yeah, from the last items on my list, and we had some blog posts shared, which we'll of course will link in the episode description. Niels shared a quick story about approach of Umbraco being simpler, not perfect. We also seen a blog post about Umbraco Spark on umbraco.com. And Shannon released an article about configuring Azure Active Directory after a lot of questions about it to him, and not only him. So yeah, that's a great resource, how to configure Azure Active Directory to work with Umbraco. And we will link all of those topics on YouTube. And yeah, we encourage you to discover all of those news and all of those topics which we've covered today later. Did we miss something? Emma, do you want to add something else?
Nothing Umbraco related. Just if anyone is in Scotland and wants to come to a workshop next weekend, I'm going to be mentoring. It's a call for participants thing. So if you have a talk that you want to give and you want some structured mentoring about getting that talk together, for Global Diversity Day, I will share the link with Callum and Marcin, who can share it with everyone. Or no, I'll just tweet it. But it's completely free. It's in the Skyscanner offices in Glasgow, and everyone's welcome. I think we've got something like 20 participants signed up, but it's all about working with people who can help you put together a call for participants, which is
and if you're not in Glasgow, this runs globally, right? There's events all over the world. So
yeah, so if you're not in Glasgow, check. London has them. In fact, when I first saw them, I was a bit too afraid to go, so I left it alone. So my first time attending, I'll be attending as a mentor. But that's next weekend, and it's global. You can go with that.
Yep, I remember that there were some ideas also of having one in Warsaw, but I don't know where it ended and if anything else like that is happening. But find it on Twitter, and of course we will be retweeting and sharing the info about it. We are all looking forward for the more news and speaker announcements and speaker activities and everything else Umbraco related for the next week. And we see each other on the next Friday, right? So
yes.
Thanks for joining, and have a great rest of the day and great weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Callum.
Thanks, Emma.
Cheers.